The moment his hand slipped, I stopped breathing. Not because of what was happening, but because of what he whispered right after. Let me take you back to 3 weeks ago. It was a Tuesday night, one of those forgettable weekdays that somehow becomes the day that changes everything. I was staying at my best friend Maya's apartment. She'd gone out of town for work, and I was house-sitting, taking care of her neurotic cat, Mr. Whiskers. But here's the thing, Maya's bathroom has this massive, gorgeous clawfoot tub, the kind you see in fancy hotels. And after the week I'd had, getting passed over for a promotion, dealing with my mom's health scare, just everything, I decided I deserved a long hot bath. So I did. Candles, wine, the whole cliché. I must have been in there for over an hour, letting the water wash away the stress, the anxiety, all of it. That's when I heard the front door open. My heart jumped into my throat. Maya wasn't supposed to be back until Friday. I froze in the tub, water sloshing, listening. Hello, Sarah? It's me, Daniel, Maya's older brother, the guy I'd known for 6 years, the guy who'd taught me how to change a tire, who'd let me cry on his shoulder when my dad passed away, who knew every embarrassing story from my college days, the guy I'd been secretly in love with for the past 2 years. Maya gave me her spare key, he called out. Said you might need help with the cat. He's been sick and she wanted me to check on him. Of course, Maya, always the protective sister and pet mom.
I'm in the bath,
I yelled back, my voice echoing off the tile. I'll be out in a few minutes. No worries. Take your time. But here's the problem. When I tried to stand up, my foot slipped on the porcelain. I caught myself on the edge of the tub. But my ankle twisted, not badly, but enough that putting weight on it sent a sharp shooting pain up my leg. Shit, I muttered. I tried again. Same result. The floor was wet from where I'd splashed earlier, and the bath mat had somehow ended up on the other side of the bathroom. I was stuck. Daniel? My voice came out smaller than I intended. Silence. Daniel, I need help. I heard his footsteps approach the bathroom door. They stopped. Are you okay? The concern in his voice was immediate, genuine. I slipped my ankle. I can't get out safely. Another pause. I could practically hear him thinking through the door. Do you want me to call someone? No, I need someone to help me stand. I took a breath. Can you just hand me my robe and help me out? I'll keep my eyes closed or something. This is so embarrassing. Sarah, it's fine. We're adults. Let me help you. He opened the door slowly, deliberately keeping his gaze up and away. But I was acutely aware of how exposed I was. My arms instinctively crossed over my chest. Your robe's on the hook? He asked, still not looking directly at me. Yeah. He grabbed it, this thick, white terry cloth robe I'd borrowed from Maya, and held it open. His back partially turned. I stood as carefully as I could, wincing when my ankle protested, and he wrapped the robe around my shoulders without looking. His hands were shaking slightly. So were mine. Okay, I'm going to help you step out, he said. Is it your left ankle? Yeah. He positioned himself next to the tub, his arm extended for me to hold. I gripped his forearm, solid, warm, and tried to step over the edge. But my foot was still wet and the ankle couldn't support me. I stumbled forward right into his chest. His other arm came around my waist to steady me, automatic, protective. And that's when it happened. His hand trying to secure me, trying to make sure I didn't fall, it slipped against the wet fabric of the robe. For just a second, his palm pressed against my bare skin beneath it, against my ribs, my waist. We both froze. Time did this weird thing where it stretched and compressed simultaneously. I could feel his heartbeat where my cheek pressed against his shirt. It was racing. Mine was a drum solo in my chest. His hand stayed there, frozen, like he was terrified to move it and make things worse. I'm sorry, he breathed, his voice barely a whisper. Sarah, I'm so sorry, And then he said something that made my entire world tilt on its axis. I can't keep pretending anymore. I pulled back just enough to look up at his face. His eyes, those warm brown eyes, I'd memorized over the years, were filled with something I'd never seen before, fear, vulnerability, and something else. Pretending what? My voice was shaking. He closed his eyes like he was gathering courage. When he opened them again, they locked onto mine. That I don't think about you every single day. That I didn't volunteer to check on the cat just to have an excuse to see you. That I haven't been in love with You since the night you cried about your dad and told me you felt invisible. My breath caught.
Daniel,
Maya made me promise I'd never tell you. She said it would ruin our friendship. That you didn't feel that way. That I'd just be another guy making things complicated. But standing here holding you, feeling like I'm going to combust from just touching your wrist, I can't lie anymore. The world went silent except for the drip, drip, drip of the faucet. Maya knew? I said slowly. Maya knew you, and she told you I didn't feel the same way. He nodded, his expression miserable. 2 years ago, after that New Year's party where we almost kissed. I told her how I felt and she said she'd talk to you, and that you only saw me as a friend. So I backed off.
I dated other people.
I tried to move on. Something cold and sharp twisted in my gut. Daniel. I placed my hand on his chest, feeling his heart hammering. Maya never talked to me about that. Never. And I spent that entire year after New Year's waiting for you to make a move. Thinking you only saw me as a friend. I watched the realization wash over his face, confusion, then understanding, then anger, then something that looked like devastated hope. She lied to both of us, he said quietly.
She lied to both of us, I repeated.
We stood there in that steamy bathroom, my robe clutched around me, his arm still steadying me, as the full weight of 2 years of missed chances crashed over us. Why would she do that? I asked, though part of me already knew. Maya, who'd been cheated on by her ex-boyfriend. Maya, who said she'd never trust anyone again. Maya, who maybe couldn't stand the idea of watching another relationship fall apart, so she made sure one never began. I don't know, Daniel said. But I do know this. I'm standing in a bathroom with the woman I've been in love with for 2 years, and she's looking at me like maybe I haven't been insane this whole time. You haven't been insane, I whispered. He smiled then, really smiled, and it was like watching the sun break through storm clouds. Your ankle, he said suddenly, remembering. We should get ice on that. In a minute, I said, and then I did what I should have done 2 years ago at that New Year's party. I kissed him. When we finally pulled apart, both of us breathing hard, he rested his forehead against mine. We're going to have to talk to Maya, he said. I know. This is going to be complicated. I know. But you're worth complicated, Sarah. You've always been worth it. Sometimes the hand that slips isn't the beginning of something wrong. It's the accident that finally reveals what was right all along. We just had to be brave enough to catch each other when we fell.